Guys, getting ready to go. Alright, so in the bag, we don't use towels. You should never ever use towels with acrylic anyway because it does not come out. So in my bag, I'm going to have wubbies instead. I'm not folding it all out. So you spread that out. If for some reason you forget that, you can use paper towels. Usually I'll have a second wubby or some kind of paper towel because I'm very OCD about wiping my brush clean in between. All right, twins, come on over so y'all get one last little hoorah over here.
I can hear you.
You need that, and that's what I need to do. So, the hand just needs to be a regular hand, okay? It cannot be a training hand. I don't know if y'all know what that means. They're like digital fingers. They bend and the tips come off. You cannot take that, okay? On this one, I've got 5 tips on, but she's just an old school manicure because you can see the red polish. They used to have to do the red polish instead of the acrylic. So that's why this one's just been around a while. Now on the paper, I know that I think I need to update the packing list to have all 5 tips on. But the update is you need at least 3 tips on. You're only doing one finger.
I'm sorry. I figured
Alex.
maybe as a button.
You're only doing one finger, so you want backup. But we also had one proctor that came out of the blue this last summer that did not want the tips on, and they wanted you to put the tips on. So put 3 tips on, and then in the off chance you want to have your tips and your nail glue with you in case that they want you to put it on. Okay? So remember how we keep saying, just go with it. Follow directions, do whatever they say. But this is actually a little long. I would do these just more of a natural free edge because it'll be easier to get the form on and get it on there for it. Okay? Your monomer and your polymer has to be an original. So if for some reason you still have one of your original OPIs that hasn't been opened of these, there's actually a smaller version of this that you can buy if you wish to do that. It does not have to be OPI. It does not have to be a professional brand. You can go to Walmart, anywhere like that, but it has to be odorless and sealed up. Sally's has a kit that has everything you need in it, even a little baby brush. Amazon has some, whatever it is. But make sure that these are sealed because before you ever walk into the testing part, you're going to open this up, and if you don't have the right one, they're going to send you home. And you're going to have to repay the $85 to sign up again, okay? Is everybody clear on that?
Yeah.
So you're going to have your nail forms in there, whichever kind you need. And again, it's good to have backup tips on there because sometimes they pop off, you know, life happens. Sometimes you'll be doing your nail. I've had it during the demo myself. And I go to take the form off and my whole tip comes off. Just go and apply it again, okay? You don't have to have resin. You can take it as long as it's a brush on and it's not a spray, okay? So, sorry, my brush messed up. Your brush needs to be an acrylic brush, okay? So, I like to have wood pushers in there because if I get acrylic along the side of the nail or anything like that, I can just scrape it off. But that's mainly what they're looking at, that you don't get it all over the skin, cuticle, and things of that nature, okay? It can be the ugliest nail that you've ever made in your life. They don't care, as long as it's not on the skin and it's not chemically bad for the client, okay? You'll have multiple files in there, so you just want to start with a rougher file. I prefer and suggest do not use these black ones because if you use these before they put the black smudges all over, and if you're OCD like me, it drives you crazy and it won't come off, okay? So, and then you'll have a buffer. All this is representing is you're going to start with the rougher and then you're just going to buff it to a smooth finish. Even if it's lopsided, it doesn't matter if it's stiletto, square, round, whatever, okay? They're looking for the safety portion. When you got the acrylic on there, again, you touch it, it's going to be tacky, it's sticky, it's never going to dry up. So you want to take the back of your brush and you want to click. And when you hear it clicking on there like a hard surface, then you know you can start buffing. Take your file and then just push straight down to the edge, and it'll remove all that sticky boogery stuff off of the end. And then you can go into filing like normal. Okay? So, anybody have questions about that?
No, ma'am.
So, all you're going to do is buff it to a smooth finish, and then you'll just sit back and wait until they're ready to tell you to clean up everything. Okay? Dapping dishes. I had dapping dishes in here. I just realized my dapping dishes aren't here. So, you just want dapping dishes. You can use something to scoop out your powder, your liquid, or you can pour it in if you're neat about it. However, just make sure it's nice, neat, and clean. Okay? But when you're done with your monomer and stuff like that, you're gonna have to put it in the trash. So I suggest taking your towel and then just dumping it in there. So you could just put enough monomer in there to work with the one nail. Dump it in here because then it's going to go into your single use, okay? There's nowhere else to go unless you have some fancy little containers that are can seal, but again, just really is not too overly, okay? So you can dump both into your things here, and then you can leave it out. If you wish, something that I would probably do is you could have, like, even sitting out an extra little Ziploc bag. If you wanted to fold it up, put it in the bag, and then put it in the trash. If you didn't want, because there's going to be things that you're putting in there, you're going to be digging back out. So, but everything would go into your disposables. Okay, so when you clean it up, this go multi-use, single use. Your files, don't care if they say that they're sanitizable, they're going into single use. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So y'all have questions? Pretty simplified. There's not a lot of extra stuff. You can have a pair of trimmers in there, cutters, in case you need to put the tip on. So the only thing I don't have in here, just because it's for show, is my extra tips and nail clip. Okay? So, but if y'all don't have any other questions, I just wanted to kind of like come together so you all could kind of see what needs to be in the nail pen. Okay? All right. So, I haven't stapled them yet, but I have the new test ready to hand out. Y'all can work on that. Y'all can also finish up if y'all want to get stuff ready for our visitors. It'll